The Old Testament contains over 300 specific ancient predictions of the coming of the Messiah, who would be the Savior of Israel and the world. These 300 predictions, made hundreds of years before the first Christmas when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, form, in a sense, a fingerprint. God was saying, look for the only one who would ever fulfill this fingerprint. That will be the one you will know is your Messiah, the Savior of Israel and the world. He would be the only one. This is a great way for God to help people discern who was telling the truth when they claimed to be God. And sure enough, these predictions, hundreds of years in advance, describe the life of Jesus Christ. The facts state that he would be born of a virgin, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Judah, of the house of David, that he would be born in Bethlehem, that he would be heralded by the Lord's messengers, that he would cleanse the temple, that he would be killed at a specific time in history, that he would be rejected by the Jewish people at the time, that he would have his hands and feet pierced, that he himself would be pierced in his side, that he would rise from the dead, and that he would ascend into heaven and would sit down at the right hand of God the Father. As we study these prophecies, you just can't explain them away. There has got to be an explanation other than Jesus fits this prophetic fingerprint of history. Maybe the biggest defense of this might be that there isn't just one person who fits this fingerprint. Maybe lots of people throughout history have matched up with this fingerprint, and maybe Jesus just had a really good public relations agent, so we remember him as being the Son of God. Maybe it is an easy feat to fulfill all these prophecies. Maybe they're just too vague. Maybe anybody could have done it. Dr. Peter Stoner, a university mathematician and professor of science in California, did something very interesting. He pulled together, over time, 600 students, and he challenged these students to come up with a very conservative estimate of the mathematical probability of just 8 Old Testament prophecies coming true in any one human being throughout history. The students came up with some very conservative estimates, and then Dr. Stoner did the math and ran the mathematical calculations. He concluded that the odds of any human being throughout history fulfilling just 8 of these Old Testament prophecies is 1 chance in 100 million billion. That makes the lottery seem like a sure thing. Let me try and illustrate how big this number really is. Here's a simple sugar packet that you'd find in any restaurant in America. Imagine if you were to take billions of these sugar packets and start by laying them end to end right here in this auditorium, going beyond to cover the entire United States and Canada, North and South America, Asia, Africa, Europe, all the major continents, and every square inch of dry land on this planet covered with billions of sugar packets. Imagine on the bottom of only one, there would be a gold star placed somewhere on this planet. So, what are the odds of any human being throughout history fulfilling just 8 of these prophecies? It would be like me selecting a person from the auditorium here today and saying that you can go anywhere in the world, but you can only bend down one time, and you can pick up just one of these sugar packets. What are the odds that the sugar packet with the star on the bottom would be the one that you would pick up? The same odds that any human being in history would fulfill just 8 of these Old Testament prophecies. I thought that was pretty impressive. But then Dr. Stoner didn't stop there. He and his 600 students looked at 48 prophecies, and they determined that based on their estimates of the odds of anyone fulfilling them, the odds were 1 chance in a trillion. Well, it's a very big number. In fact, it's 1 followed by 157 zeros. But I can tell you, Jesus did it. Against all mathematical odds, the only one ever in history to match this fingerprint was Jesus Christ. And it seals His identity as being the Messiah who came to be the Savior of Israel and the world. It affirms His identity in the manger not as being a mere man, but as God incarnate.